At People's Capital Group, we help you invest in real estate. Build your wealth by owning professionally managed apartment buildings in the northern New Jersey market. We want to show you how owning real estate is attainable, even for the busy professionals that don't have the time or experience investing in real estate. Now, we only work with select people who are serious about building wealth. So find out if you qualify at peoplescapitalgroup.com. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, it's Aaron Fragnito with the Passive Cash Flow Podcast. Here with another episode today. We're going to talk about how to invest in the best multifamily real estate markets here on the Passive Cash Flow Podcast. So a lot of investors come to us and ask about the best markets to invest in, how to select the best market, and the different types of multifamily real estate within that market, and what is the smartest investment to make the highest return on investment, but also protect your capital and protect your hard-earned investment there. Make sure you don't lose money, right? Rule number one of investing, don't lose money. So first we have to discuss finding the best multifamily markets in real estate. These markets change all the time. There's lots of different parameters to measure the best markets. You have jobs, you have medium household income, you have different political rules and incentives for companies to move to certain areas. Then you have headlines and momentum in that space where, just cultural movements that area and popular things. So I know Salt Lake City was a popular area for some time and investors flocked there. And there's always different markets on the headlines you want to pay attention to, but for the most part, investing in a market that you know and trust and understand can always be a good way to invest wisely here. We prefer New Jersey because there's a high amount of people, a large population hub here, and not enough housing. So there's so much demand, just not enough housing in New Jersey. There's high income, there's lots of jobs, and that allows for a good, healthy market of consistent demand in good times and in bad, and recession and in good markets. And that's why we like New Jersey here. But the first step is selecting the best market for your goals. Maybe that means local, or maybe that means the top headline on CNBC for the best real estate markets. You can decide what's a good fit for you, of course. And then you want to look at the types of multifamily real estate. So once you select your market, you also want to look at the types of multifamily real estate within that market that's a good fit for you. So let's break that down here. So we have multifamily apartments. That's apartment complexes. This is my preference of the best type of real estate I like to buy. I like multifamily apartment buildings because you have many units under one roof, so they tend to be easier to manage, and you have economies of scale, which saves costs on the management and renovation and taking care of these buildings. It also is a very popular place for people to live, and most people are familiar with living in an apartment complex at one point in their life or another. Another type of multifamily real estate you can consider is condominiums. In fact, we focus on buying condominium opportunities often because a lot of other investors do not like condominiums. Now, one of the reasons for that is because of HOA. The HOA can make decisions on how you manage your property, and it's very frustrating. Depending on different HOAs, you can have little power over your asset or a lot. We right now we own, for example, 25 condominiums in a 31 condo complex. That allows us to have 25 of the 31 votes. The other 6 units are owned by another professional company. So that's a good option for us because it allows us to get a good deal on the asset, because other investors don't like condominiums necessarily. We made it work. We bought it for a great price, improved rents over time. I'm about to do a cash out refinance for our investors next year and achieve that goal about 2 years ahead of schedule. So we find that condominiums can be a good investment if you know how to navigate the HOA and you buy them for a right price. Of course, you make your money when you buy in real estate. Another type of popular asset for multifamily here is multiplex buildings. So this could be a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex. So this is multiple units under one roof as well, but tends to be a smaller complex, okay? This could be good for house hacking. Maybe you want to live in one unit and rent out the others. Also, 4 units or less qualifies for an FHA loan, meaning you can put down a smaller amount. So if you're looking to take the plunge and be a landlord yourself, buying a duplex or a triplex or a 4 unit and renting out one of the units and renting out the other units and living in one can be a good option. And again, there's more options out there with there's so many 3 units and 2 units and 4 units for sale. You're going to have more buildings for sale that fit that category than ideally a large condominium complexes or multifamily apartment complexes. So with more types of properties for sale in that category, you're going to have more options and ideally get a better price. You also have multi-use buildings. So this can be mixed-use buildings. Maybe they have a shopping center and apartments above them, or different types of uses for the building. These could be commercial and residential properties in one. We like mixed-use buildings. We actually recently refinanced an 11 unit that has a storefront and apartments above it. That was a great opportunity for our investors. They earned about a 49% return on investment in 2 years investing in that property. So mixed-use property, multi-use buildings can be very beneficial as well. Again, it matters how much you pay for them. You want to make your money when you buy the property for a good price, keep your costs low when you're renovating, and execute in the right manner on the exit, whether that's a refinance or a sale of the property. And our final type of real estate here that I would suggest purchasing is townhomes. I like townhomes. They tend to hold their value very nicely. You do have HOA with townhomes, so you want to watch out for that. There can be restrictions to what you could do with your property. Can you lease it on Airbnb and things like that? So you want to look at the HOA rules before you buy any property with an HOA, and also the cost of that as well. You have to pay your HOA. If you don't pay your HOA, they can actually foreclose on you. It's pretty crazy. So townhomes can be very good. You don't have to shovel your driveway or cut your lawn. For the most part, that's taken care of by the HOA. Obviously, every opportunity is different, but townhomes can be a great way to earn a nice return on investment as well. They grow in equity over time. They produce cash flow if bought properly and managed properly, and they can be a nice high demand investment that people always like to live in. You can usually find tenants or buyers for townhomes pretty easily. So here's some top questions for real estate investors here, important real estate questions when we're an investor. So we want to look at what is the median household income in a market you're considering investing in, and how has median household income increased or decreased recently? Does the investor want to specialize in a niche market or diversify his or her portfolio over a number of markets? There's benefits to both. Knowing a niche market very well can be very advantageous, but investing over a number of markets with professionals can be good as well. What are the demographics changes in the market? Are people moving in creating a higher income, or are the people with high incomes moving out of that area? Right? Are there jobs and opportunities to make a decent living in that area, or are the jobs being moved out, shipped out of that area? Right? So you want to pay attention to both those measures. And are tenants and investors slowly trading urban living for suburban or rural living? Right? We've seen that here in New Jersey. That's one of the reasons we're looking at Western markets and central markets here in New Jersey. We see a lot of people moving further from the city, further from congested markets. Maybe they only need to commute into the city now twice a week, right? So that's a very different scenario for them. Now they can have that suburban home with the white picket fence and the 2.5 acres. Maybe that's what they're looking for, and you want to focus on those markets and identify that movement of demand as well in your market. Is the target market of multifamily housing strong or stable? Is there an established market adjacent to an area of interest? Okay, so you want to recognize how strong and stable that market is. Is it a boom and bust market that's booming right now, only possibly to bust in the future? Or is it a market that tends to hold its demand through recession, like we see here in North Jersey, due to the high population demand, the high population hub here, the huge amount of people living in one place, and the lack of housing available for them keeps this demand strong? Are there any special restrictions due to urban land institution list? And also, what is the overall multifamily market performance in that area? So you want to ask yourself those questions when you're entering a market or teaming up with professionals. They should know the answers to those questions. Top reasons to invest in multifamily real estate. Well, here they are. Consistent real estate cash flow, right? We love cash flow from property. In North Jersey, it's not all that strong, but we still produce cash flow for our investors, and it's consistent. Multifamily real estate management, it's easier to manage more units under one roof and 4 walls. See, if I have 50 units under one roof and 4 walls, that's much easier than managing 50 single family homes. That can be a nightmare. 50 different roofs, 20 different walls, that the costs add up to that. So it's more efficient, it's more affordable, and therefore more profitable to manage more units under one roof. That's why we love multifamily real estate. Also hedge against the median household income changes. So by having units where people can afford to move in, they're not extremely expensive units, then you also are going to be hedging against recession where people can afford lesser income units. Also, when home prices get more expensive and borrowing gets more expensive, more people rent. So it's a good way to hedge against recession there. The bottom line is we want to make your real estate investments work. We want to get the best return on investment we can get. And that's the bottom line here at People's Capital Group. See, we recently refinanced an 11-unit mixed-use building in Paterson, New Jersey. We achieved about a 49% return on investment to our investors in about a 2-year period. So that's roughly a 24% annualized return to our investors on that property. So that really beats targets, really beats industry standards, and that's what we focus on doing here, is buying mismanaged properties at good price, making them perform, and then refinancing and harvesting that equity growth for our investors so they get the most possible return on investment as we could possibly earn for them. So that's our goal here at People's Capital Group. We've been doing this about 10 years, so we've helped a lot of people build wealth in real estate. I invite you to come along and learn more about how we qualify people to help invest with us and how we help people build that wealth passively in real estate. See, it's a way to build your wealth and start earning solid returns without having to know all the ins and outs of doing it, and teaming up with professionals in a completely passive manner so that we do all the heavy lifting and you earn the benefits of investing in real estate, such as cash flow, tax depreciation, and large lump sum payouts upon the refinance. So if you want to learn more about that, go to peoplescapitalgroup.com, set up a discovery call with me, Aaron Fragnito. Let's connect, let's learn about your investment goals and see if you are qualified to invest with People's Capital Group and see if our investment goals align. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.